Hello, and welcome back to Show Title Pending. We still don't know. As always, my name is Ryan Bravo, and with me
is Kevin Carpenter with you at 99.5 in the morning. Oh yeah!
Also, Jason, would you like to introduce yourself?
I did, but you don't let fucking people do timing, you bitch.
And Chris, that's your cue.
No, I thought you were gonna say and Chris. I'm waiting here like, and is he gonna say my name? Like, am I? What the fuck am I waiting for? Hey, what up, Chris?
Anyway.
Yeah, the comedic timing on that one was a little off.
What,
Yeah,
you
like
mean-
I like you were taking your sweet time. Oh, cool, I'm gonna take my sweet time, and then you fucking chime in like, well, thank you, Bravo. Don't know timing. Fucking actor over here.
No, my focus was on Chris saying, I'm sorry, I need to have fanfare. You have to introduce me, where I don't need to introduce myself.
Dude,
Chris,
I wish I could hire someone to give me like fanfare. Like,
I know. Wouldn't that be great?
Whenever I walk into rooms, and like, you know, after pandemic, of course, whenever I walk into rooms, I just want someone with like a Bluetooth speaker who, like, depending on the situation, will play like the required music. And it's like, here's the thing. I would pay top dollar for someone who will create that playlist for me, because I can't set down the time to be like, okay, when I walk into a funeral, I want you to play When You Have a Bad Day. Like, I need them to use their processing speed to like think of those songs.
What if I pay for the Insane Clown Posse to play for your music?
Do I get a like a choice in the matter? Like,
No. No.
First of all, the second clown posse became, you don't have a choice in the matter.
You just get it and you live with it.
It's like sending me an envelope full of glitter. It's like, here you go. It's your problem now.
Not even an envelope. Like those popping things, like it's like a tube that, you know, people would just open it up like, oh, what's this? And it just burst everything all over the place. Mm-hmm. What kind of
those
sick
fucking
bastard thought of such an evil thing?
You know, honestly though, Jason might be on to something with like his business idea. Like, imagine how many people would pay for like different kinds of annoying bands, just, you know, hang out around people, like legally at a distance. Like, if they're in their home, then they're just like on the public sidewalk, just like playing. But if they like go out, they're just following them. They get into their car, they drive off. There's like a tinier car just still playing the music, now blasting.
So
it on the radio.
ask you this then. Let me ask you this: who's an annoying band you would hire? I already know mine. It's not the Insane Clown Posse. It'd be fucking Creed.
Creed.
Just think of yeah. Just imagine them. Like, you're just like, you know, you're going outside getting your mail, you know, and all of a sudden you just see that fucking band drive right by singing to you. Like,
Hey there, Kevin. Checking the mail.
What was what was the team?
and then but they're driving in like in that fucking video, My Sacrifice. So like they're driving in a flooded area. It's like, why is there only water there but not in my yard? Like, it breaks physics.
Fans going, hair flying, in classic '90s fashion.
What about you, Chris? Who would be a band?
Oh my gosh, could I just wake up to Blind Guardian? That'd be so great.
Well, I mean,
No. You're waking up to a band that annoys you.
like,
that annoys me. That's
a
true.
band
Oh
that
my god.
sucks.
this is the
Oh,
band
okay.
that you send to your enemies.
Oh no, just waking up to Justin Bieber.
Is that a band though? That's an artist.
Yeah, that's true. A
Does he
band
still
that I
do
don't
music?
like.
I don't
It's hard
know.
because there's not really bands I don't like.
No,
Like-
it's because you're not thinking hard.
I know. I'm thinking about it right now. Like bands I don't like.
Well, Chris,
What about-
you're
oh,
just
well-
thinking, period.
Okay. Mudvayne.
You can just
Waking
think
up
of
to
like
Mudvayne.
genre.
Yeah, if I wake up to let the body hit the floor, let the body, I'm like, okay, no, I'm done.
What about you, Bravo?
For me, what's that band that somebody once told me
Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth, yes.
Mouth.
Really? Smash Mouth is great.
Look, okay,
Are they though? Are they really?
Actually, I'll argue this. Early Smash Mouth, before they blew up, I think is great.
Yeah.
Is that the only
Pre-Shrek
is that
Smash
only
Mouth?
early?
Yeah, because they have this one
No
song
fucking
I
ever heard
heard,
of
which
it
is
till Shrek.
Padrino.
now
I don't know if you heard that song. It's really good.
I have not,
Which
'cause
one?
all I've heard from Smash Mouth most likely was, you know, that Shrek song.
Didn't they have
Which
like
one?
two? No, they had two.
Oh,
Shrek
the cover of
songs.
the Monkeys.
Which one?
They had All Star, which is the one that plays at the beginning, and then like the after credits thing. I'm a believer. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they have two songs. But going back to what Chris said, he's like early Smash. That's the only Smash Mouth I've ever heard. Like I didn't know they went beyond 2000.
There was this.
They just take on corporate stuff, I think, since.
There was this weird movie called Rat Race, where it's basically like a bunch of rich people just like get a bunch of random people in the casino and basically tell them, "Hey, you're in Las Vegas. Get over to like, Wisconsin
City,
or
New
whatever,
Mexico.
and you win a bunch of money." And it's a movie that's near and dear to my heart because it ends with all the main characters accidentally crashing into a Smash Mouth concert. And it's just it's just so genuine and enthusiastic about like, oh my god, it's Smash Mouth. And they're doing like a charity concert. And spoilers, by the way, for Rat Race if you guys haven't seen it.
An all-time classic in American cinema.
Exactly. They had the guy who played Mr. Bean pretty much just play Mr. Bean, but they didn't call him that because they didn't have the rights to the character.
Wait, so did they actually get the actor Rowan Atkinson to play? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Rowan Atkinson plays a narcoleptic. Has a guy that has a narcoleptic sleeping disorder. And some dude bets $2 million on him to win the race, and then he falls asleep while the race goes off.
And there's like another point where he like wakes up and like everyone else, they're having problems with like planes and
transportation.
Like exactly. Like it's a comedy. He just like jumps onto a bullet train. He like he falls asleep for like the first third of the movie, then wakes up, walks outside, gets chased by like the dude from like Seinfeld, not Seinfeld, the
Stanza?
The bad guy. Newman, yeah. He gets chased by Newman, who is like a cannibal or some shit like that. It's a very weird movie. I would definitely recommend it.
We don't know the actor's name. We just know him as Newman.
Which really goes to show you how good of an actor this guy is, that he made his performance like, this guy exists.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. How many of you guys grew up watching this film? It's called Three Ninjas.
Three Ninjas.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
I think it's a 90s movie, right?
It's definitely 90s. It was basically three white kids who were taught by their Asian grandfather, who, by the way, his daughter is not Asian. She's white. They don't explain it, but they're related. And something happened. Like it's basically a martial arts version of Home Alone, but it's really bad.
Wait, hold on.
Really bad.
The Asian grandfather. His child is a Caucasian woman.
Yes.
Adoption, mixed race. I haven't seen the movie.
They don't explain it.
You know what? You kind of just solved it there. I'm like,
yeah.
Was that like a norm?
I mean,
no, because she calls. I mean, it is what it is. But what's funny about like if you ever go back and watch like 90s films for kids, like that one. There's a scene where he's fighting like basically there's like a big bad in these kind of films because it's a martial arts film or trying to be a martial arts film. It's a fucking it's a shitstorm.
It's a child comedy.
Yeah. Again, it's Home Alone without the appeal of Home Alone.
What's the point?
There's a scene where I don't know how we went from a suburban area to nuclear submarine docks. Don't ask me how we get there, but we get there. And they're going to have this final fight, and it's the grandfather versus the bad guy who's kidnapped the kids. In fact, I don't even remember how he got involved. He just, because it had nothing to do with the kids, but somehow he got involved. And have you guys ever seen the movie Tremors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the Asian guy in that? He's the grandfather in this. He is going to fight.
Okay, I was about to say, was the grandfather Mr. Miyagi?
No.
Pat Morita.
Mr. Miyagi, the actor who plays Mr. Miyagi has more respect for himself. Anyways, they're about to do this fight scene, and the funny thing is when they do the fight scene, of course they get the stunt double, but they didn't even get like the stunt double that looks like his own body shape, because he'll do like a jump kick and it's like this thin, super fit guy, and then when he lands on his feet, you have this old Asian short dude, and it was like he's not even the same height. It was so funny. It was like, wow, like they didn't give two fucks. Like, yeah, whatever, just film it. Let's Let's call it a night. I want to go home.
There was a Halloween movie, and I mean like Michael Myers, like Halloween. This is like one of the much later ones when the plot is Busta Rhymes playing Busta Rhymes.
Halloween H2O.
Yeah, that's it. He creates a reality show inside Michael Myers' house, and then whoa, Michael Myers actually appears. One of my favorite movies because there's a point where like Busta Rhymes breaks into a shed while it's on fire, and like you think Busta Rhymes is dead, like Michael Myers like threw him out a window, but no, he comes back and he yells "trick or treat, motherfucker," and then drop kicks Michael Myers, and it's the greatest scene, made only better by if you analyze it frame by frame like I have. The stunt double for Busta Rhymes, who like breaks down the like on fire door, is a white dude. Go watch Halloween H2O. The final scene when Busta Rhymes busts in, that's actually a white dude busting in, and then Busta Rhymes appears.
Let me ask you this: that's the one where the dude was watching, like there's like another character who's like at a frat house, like a Halloween party, and he's like watching all the murders take place, isn't he? And he's like kind of relaying the information back to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't that have like a Scream vibe? Because that felt like the way they shot, I was like, is this Halloween or is this Scream? Because it felt like that.
I mean, like I think
the aesthetic of it, at least the
like
aesthetic,
some inspiration behind it. Because
it you can tell it's so 2000s just by the hairstyles and the way they're talking and the way they're dressed.
Okay, what's your definition of a 2000s movie?
Not another teen movie.
Okay.
No, seriously, just not another teen movie.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
Yeah, everybody remembers Chris Evans. Everyone will remember Chris Evans as Captain America. I'll remember him as that dude who had a banana and cream pie all over his ass.
You got to give him some credit. I think Chris Evans is the only one, though, who's played numerous superhero characters and was able to get out of the whole, like, douchey, I don't know, fuckboy persona.
What's another, 10 Things I Hate About You, that, like, fucking romance film?
That's old 90s.
I mean...
Is that old? I thought that was 2000.
I mean, sorry, 2000s.
Yeah.
I mean, Robert Pattinson somehow escaped like playing, one of the big teenage heartthrobs with the Twilight franchise, and then after that, he just disappeared to do a bunch of indie movies, and then he suddenly shows up doing Lighthouse.
You know who I feel like his career he's mimicking is
Batman
like
now?
Yeah, he's playing Batman.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But look at it this way though. I always considered him was going to go down the same path Leonardo DiCaprio did. Remember how he was when he first started?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was like, oh, it's Leo, the heart.
He was the heartthrob of what? The 2000s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like,
no, 90s. 90s definitely.
The late 90s though, right?
Titanic, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Now, and my mom, I remember my mom, so when she first saw him in Titanic, she's like, I cannot get over the fact that he still looks like a kid to me. Until like years later when he played, she finally saw him. She never really liked any of the films he was in. Which is sad because, like, I was like, well, you only know him about his early stuff. You have to see his later stuff, like when he was in The Departed and all those. And what was it, Shutter Island? Was that what it's called?
Yeah.
Like he was really good at those.
Detective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's really good at those. So when she finally saw Django Unchained and saw how he acted in it, she goes, wow, he's really changed. I go, yeah, he's not the little kid anymore that you saw him. He's a grown adult now.
Yeah, he's played a lot of like bastard roles for someone who like has that pretty of a face. Like, Django Unchained, Wolf of Wall Street, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, he plays like dirt bags in all those movies.
And he's good at it.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
He does a great Ricky Dalton.
Just a really good actor, period.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so that's why I feel like Robert Pattinson is going to show everybody.
Pattinson.
It's Patrickson?
No,
Pattinson. Robert Pattinson is going to be a good Batman because I've seen just bits of The Lighthouse, and it's he's really good in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're right.
So
I
think
jump to conclusions. You're right. I haven't seen The Lighthouse. I should watch that.
Because, like, look at Michael Keaton. Everybody remembers him from Mr. Mom, and no one expected him to be the best Batman, and now he's like universally regarded as one of the best Batman actors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
So, never. What's that old saying? Never judge a book by its cover. Now, if we're watching a Tyler Perry film, judge it hard because you already know what you're getting into. Don't have to think too hard about that.
You know, I'd be interested to see like the Robert Pattinson take on Batman though, because you know, since they're doing like another Batman, they're obviously going to do like a new take on it, you know. And I think from just what we've seen in like the promo materials, but also like casting Robert Pattinson, they're probably going to do like a more like broody one. Like, don't get me wrong, Christian Bale was like a great Bruce Wayne, and then like as Batman, he would just like freak out all over the sets, just like, where's Rachel? And it was great. Like he really acted like unhinged. And like Ben Affleck, like, you know, that one scene in the beginning of Batman v Superman when he like rushes into like the dust cloud in the city, like not even in the Batman suit, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But like,
I will say this about that film. My favorite scene is when he fights in the warehouse. That is the closest to what, like that. They looked at probably Batman Arkham Asylum and said, mimic that fighting style. And that shit looked cool, but that movie was
kills a lot of people though.
He does, but god damn it, he looked good doing it.
Yeah,
and that's what.
And you have to admit, he had the closest to like a Batman physique.
Yeah,
like at least the brooding Batman physique.
Dude, Robert Pattinson, he's like, his trainers are like really trying to get him to work out, and he's like, nah, I'm not. Like, that's a really bad standard. Yeah, he's like, he's still like working out, like getting a lot more. He's getting in shape, but like, you know, like Henry Cavill in The Witcher, he would dehydrate for like 3 days before doing like the bathtub shots, or like, you know, Chris Pratt, or pretty much anyone who plays like a superhero, they get like super fucking like G.I. Joe jacked, which is like super unhealthy, and really they can only like last it through like shooting the movie, and then it all just like kind of falls apart.
What they're probably gonna do is grab him by the feet, like you get like a real big roided looking guy, grab him by the feet, and then like kind of like a wet towel, they slam him against a tree on the ab. This way they build up his muscles. That's what I mean. It's like, he's ready.
I mean, like, I think for his, let me look. Okay, Robert Pattinson, because I'm on Google right now.
I mean, you see his ass in Lighthouse, so you know. If you need
Robert Pattinson. Okay, let's see if I can get
wasn't
like a
looking
full
at
body
his ass
image of this dude.
I was worried about the crazy William Dafoe trying to yell at the screen. I'm like, whoa, Dafoe, you're too close to my monitor. Time to 6 feet away.
Because like, all right, like certain actors, they have a certain physique that will allow, you know, people in order to build up a lot of muscle. And like I'm looking at a photo of like a 2020 Robert Pattinson, like he's doing like some sort of photo shoot. Like he has muscle, like you can clearly see his arms. Oh, what am I saying? You can clearly, you guys can't see it. But like he's got like arms, like he has a good physique, broad shoulders. But to me, like he reminds me of my older cousin who has a similar physique, but no matter how hard he tries, he just can't build up muscle. Like the stupid, roided out, like Henry Cavill kind of shit.
Well, I think the costume will help cover that up. Because I mean, if you remember Shazam, who was the actor that played Shazam?
Chuck.
Which one?
The adult, the magic. Yeah, Chuck. Basically, who's the actor that played Chuck?
I don't remember his name.
What's his name? Like his costume was kind of awkward looking, but it at least gave the idea like, okay, he's muscular.
But do you think
maybe they'll do the
like
same thing with the Batman suit?
Zachary Levi.
Yeah, Zachary Levi.
Honestly, they've done that with like all the Batman suits. Like even the Michael Keaton one, they were like, oh, Michael Keaton is short and he doesn't have a whole lot of muscle. Well, we'll etch the muscles into the suit and we'll shoot him with like upward angles. Seriously,
now the only one they haven't done it to was Adam West. That was all West.
That was just pure raw masculinity.
The weirdest story I heard from the Adam West Batman series, and take this with a grain of salt, but like the guy who played Robin, that was back when Robin just had like the green spandex. And they were trying to figure out ways to make his bulge less prominent because apparently he does have a big dick according to the cast.
Boy was packing.
And also, apparently, when he was playing Robin, he was pretty popular, so he was having a lot of sex.
Oh God! Don't tell me they taped him down there.
It's hard when.
Dude, you know what? A sucked. The person who had to get that suit, clean it after shooting. That thing must have been right as a motherfucker, and then sweat stained so bad. They're like, dude.
You remember that skit that College Humor did about Batman?
No.
That he can't stop thinking about sex.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Fighting a rubber suit all day really seals in the flavor. Oh, God.
Now,
Gross.
real quick, speaking of 2000 movies, I did a quick Google search on 2000 movies.
And you got a list of 2,000 movies.
Don't be a fucking smartass. Do you guys remember the timeless classic Dinosaur? Disney's Dinosaurs with the weird looking face.
I think that was the first movie I was like conscious to watch. Like, you know, when like you're a kid and then, you know, like when you're like a baby and all that, you watch movies but you don't like take them in. Like that was like the first movie I actually remember watching.
It was a movie or a TV show?
It was a movie, dude. Disney's Dinosaur. It was just called Dinosaur.
I don't remember that.
Google it right now.
Yeah, let me look it up.
But like,
Disney's Dinosaur.
This movie made me uncomfortable because like I was used to the dinosaur from like Jurassic Park, you know, like effects or you know. This fucking ugly thing.
the uncanny valley dinosaurs with human faces.
It was so like. And I remember watching it with my dad, and my mom happened to come in at like a moment where the dinosaurs are just talking, like they're just two heads on the screen. And my mom, of course, she said it in Spanish. She's like, "What the fuck is this?" And again, my mom knows nothing of movies. She only watches like those old school Mexican films, and she doesn't like sitting down because she's like angsty. She wants to do stuff. And she's like, "What are you watching? What is this?" It's like, "Oh, it's a Disney film." And she's like, "Disney? This shit?" And just walks away.
Wait, look at if you don't see the chat, go in the chat real quick. I posted the photo. It's a dinosaur with Zaboomafoo on top of his head.
Dinosaur.
Look how ugly that thing is.
So for those of you who don't know, just go on Google or on your phone and look up 2000, you know, Disney Dinosaur. And
all right.
And dinosaur here.
What dinosaurs were they?
And then before you actually do what Bravo says, don't do it because you're gonna have nightmares. This shit's ugly.
I remember having nightmares after watching that movie, not because of like the weird uncanny valley dinosaur faces, but because of like the scene with the meteors and like a bunch of dinosaurs dying. And like back then, like I didn't think to ask my parents, like, could that happen? I just thought, oh, that could happen at any time. So I was like, there was a period in my early childhood where I was worried about meteors. Like, you know, when you grow up and you're Kevin? Like, you're worried about like quicksand or the Bermuda Triangle. Like for me, it was like just looking at the sky, like making sure the stars are staying right where they should be.
Can you guys relate that at some point the realization of the Bermuda Triangle wasn't like a thing? You're like, why has nobody like looked into this? Like, is it really?
Because when you look into it, you never come back. So they said, "Fuck it, just leave it alone."
Like, I remember one time, I think it was in a history class or geography class or something back in middle school, when our professor or our teacher told us about, like, you know, this is the Bermuda Triangle, and like, ooh, these, you know, ships and planes are lost in there. And then after that, he's like, anyways, like, let's move on. And I remember one guy, his name was Tyler. He was just like, no, hold on, wait, teacher, real quick, why? He's like, what do you mean? Like, why do like ships disappear? Like, don't we have satellites or don't we have all this technology? Like, do we not send the military in? Like, what's in there? And then from that sort of chain reaction, where we had an exchange student from Hong Kong, where she was like, wait a minute. Now that I realize it, why hasn't the Chinese or the Hong Kong government done anything about this? Which then later on, like, this girl pretty much, she was the smartest kid in our class. Like, she was way beyond her years. And she was, it just rippled into a domino effect where we just said, you know, teacher, screw whatever the hell you're going to be talking about today's lesson. Why hasn't this been fixed? And it turned into like one of those conspiracy theories where in fact the next teacher, because it was like we were exchanging like teachers because we only had like a room to work with, came in and kind of like that scene from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it has all those like like facts and like lines connecting to things, and just like, no, but seriously, I think here's why. To where at the end we just only talked about the Bermuda Triangle for the rest of the day, and it was actually one of the most enjoyable, and like I learned a lot. It was great, and I don't know why it just came up. It was just nice.
That was a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing.
Anyways,
was that like
alcoholic?
Was that like a substitute teacher? Because that's like that's like big like classroom wants to mess with the substitute teacher energy.
It was a sub.
I got a story of a substitute at my school.
Oh please, let's get into this.
Okay, his name was. That was legit his real name, dude. This guy, you know what? I think he had a condition, like an obsessive
OCD.
OCD. Like he had a real bad case of OCD, but the students, you know, it's high school students. They're fucking dicks.
Oh yeah, they're horrible.
They fucking ridiculed this guy. I'm pretty sure if he didn't, unfortunately, this is gonna sound dark. If he didn't commit suicide, I mean, I hope he's okay, because they did some horrible shit. Every time he had a class, they would put a picture of a sofa on the classroom door, so you know he's here. And then the screwed up thing is they fucking dipped the tampon in water. No, they painted it red, dipped it in water, and then they threw it at the door that he was teaching at.
Oh my god,
Jeez, that's horrible,
dude! It was fucked up. And then he cleaned it off himself. And then of course, like, you know, when he comes in, he's trying to just, you know, as long as I can remember, he's trying to, like, you know, stay composed. Then of course, you know, you have like some students who are rowdy. They come in and they're all being rowdy, and then he's like, "You can't be doing that." And then I was like, dude, this poor guy.
Damn, that really just put a somber tone in a lot of shit right now.
Yeah, I had some like torturing substitute teacher stories, but they're a little bit funnier.
Please, Kevin,
cool.
My school was dicks, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's horrifying. My school, we had this one substitute teacher. I can't name names. Let's just call her
Mrs. Couch.
Mrs. Couch. Mrs. Couch, she was a substitute that no one really liked that much.
Mrs. Couch?
Mrs. Couch, because like she was one of those people that would like be strict on like the bathroom pass, and like every time she showed up, she wasn't one of the substitutes that's like, okay, class, it's just a free period. She'd be like, okay, class, I've made this like 2-page essay assignment for you guys to do, and it's like it's nothing, but at the same time, it's like, come on. She was just really bad. So a lot of times she would get bullied. And like Jason said, high school kids are cruel. But I was in a computer class, and you know, she did the whole like essay thing, like no going on the internet. When you're done, just do like free study, like not even letting us use computer. So at one point, one person starts playing the YouTube video where it's like that GIF of Adam West Batman like shaking his head around with the song like like that one playing. And she waddles over to that corner and tells that person to stop. And then on the other corner of the room, you suddenly hear and she waddles over there and tells that person to stop. And then you hear and she goes over there, and then you hear and like it pretty much just keeps like popping up until like it's just a random pattern of like 3 to 4 computers just playing this song over and over, and she is just like spinning around, and it's bullying. Anyway.
This message brought to you by Oddloot. Don't bully people.
That's a good story. I like that.
That was much more comedic torment.
There is a video on YouTube. It was done on April Fools, and basically, I guess it was a prank on the teacher. And what they did was, the teacher has a strict rule that if you get a phone call in the class, you have to answer it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And the girl picks it up, and she goes, "Hello, is this, you know, so and so?" And she goes, "Yeah, this is her." It's like, "Hey, this is from the hospital. We just got your lab results back, and we wanted to let you know that you tested positive on for your pregnancy." And the teacher's like, "Okay, maybe we should take it off the speaker." And she goes, "We've already informed the father, but it sounds like he doesn't want to be part of the picture." And it's just like escalating, and you can just see this teacher like, dude, I was like, oh my god, what have I just done? And like she goes, like the girl's just, you know, she's playing up there. She goes, "Okay, thank you." So, you know, she hangs up. Everyone just kind of like is quiet. Well, not quite, like giggling, and you know, like oh my god, what did we just hear? And the teacher just comes, she's like, "I am so sorry. I don't know how to even make it. I don't even know where to start to make it up to you." and she goes, "It's okay. I thought of the baby's name already." He goes, "You don't have to say." He says, "No, I think I should. I'm gonna call her April, and her last name is Fools." And then it finally clicked. He goes, "Motherfucker!" Oh, I would love that. That was one of the funniest things I've seen on YouTube. I was like, "That's creative. That's really good."
A prank.
That's a prank, yeah.
There's another another one where students go up to the teachers and call them by their first names, like they're instead of like Mrs. something, it's like, "Hey John," and then they just look at them like, the fuck did you say to me?
Oh, I think like it's like a real quick cut of like Harold, Cheryl, Mary, how you doing? And she's like, what did you say? He's like, excuse me,
Patrick,
and she's like, no.
Can I have you sign these papers? And he looked up. He goes, what? What did you just say?
The last like school prank I've seen, I was in freshman year of college. We were in one of those like huge lecture rooms, and this is like the third week, so I've still got that like new to college like, oh, this is so cool. There's one dude wearing this like colossal titan like no skin like bodysuit, so you just see all the muscles, comes riding down on a bike yelling, "The British are coming! The British are coming!" Gets to the front of the lecture hall past the professor, picks up his bike, and then goes through like a back door like awkwardly because he's carrying a bike. And it's just like he comes down, yells this, goes to the back door. The whole thing probably takes like 12 seconds, and everyone's just quiet the whole time, and then just get back to like the lesson. I'm just like, is this what it's like? Yes, sometimes yes.
That reminds me of a thing I saw on Reddit one time where the guy's like, it's obviously there's somebody filming in there. And the guy's like, he gets a phone call and he's like, do you need to answer that? He's like, sorry, sir, I do. What? The city's in danger. I'll be right there. And he like takes off his shirt and it's the whole Superman outfit. And he's like, he starts, I think he says that as he's going down the stairs because it's an auditorium. He goes to the door. He tries to smash it and just goes, boom. Ow! Just pushes and then pushes it like normally out and runs out.
God.
What were some fun things you guys did in college?
Oh,
fucking nothing, dude.
I can legally talk about it on a podcast.
Yeah, right. Okay. Let that be a filter, ladies and
I feel like
gentlemen.
we've been here before.
No, come on. We had to do. I mean, okay, hold on.
Don't reveal too much.
Not all of college for us, Bravo and Chris, was bad. There was some fun moments. Like, remember a time when we got oh my god, I forgot his name. He was my 201 teacher, the one that we did the studio thing for, and like as a goodbye gift, we went to Shakey's and we got him that foot, and then we signed it.
Hey, yeah, that was fun.
I know you got him a foot.
There was Shakey's had like this little prize of a pillow foot. And I was like, let's get that. And we were playing the game. Was it Deal or No Deal? What was the game?
Okay. I don't know, man. You're the one telling the story.
I'm not talking to you.
You're talking to an audience. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I think it was Deal or No Deal.
It was Deal or No Deal, or no, Wheel of Fortune, I think it was. And then Fadi was winning all those tickets, and then we used it to get the foot.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
You don't remember it, do you, Bravo, huh?
Well, I wasn't there.
How could they not remember it? You painted such a vivid word picture.
You weren't there? I thought you were in the picture that we took with that group photo.
No, dude. If it was for that wait. Oh, sorry. I'm mixing my times up. I remember the time that you guys went out drinking with him at the end of the class.
Wait, no. Jason, when you got the pillow foot, was Nelson Mandela in prison, or
no? What I'm saying is, I accidentally mixed up the dates. I thought you got that same foot on the night you guys were drinking after class. Yeah. I remember. You're right.
There you are. See, there's everybody. And Chris, you're not in the photo because you're the one taking the photo.
Okay, good. Yeah,
those are good fucking times.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Anyway,
this was college for us, Kevin. People can't see it, but I posted a photo. Like one of the probably the best moments of college was when we all got together at Shakey's and we got that shitty Shakey's food and we just got a bunch of pictures. We're all eating, just having a good time. Chris is the one who took the photo. That's why he's not in there. But I'm drinking a picture.
Yeah.
Body's drinking a picture. Gene's there for some reason.
Have I told the Buffaloese story on this podcast?
I think you have.
Have I?
I don't think you have.
Okay. Just in case, I'll run through it pretty quickly. I had a friend who worked at the this like buffalo wing restaurant on campus called Buffaloese. The owner was very eccentric, to say the least. And I can't confirm if the story is true, but for legal reasons. But my friend worked there, and part of his job was counting the wings. It's like, oh, I order 8 wings. Okay, 1, 2, 3. He got paid to do that. And at one point, the football team comes in there and they just start like chowing down on wings. wings, like they just came back from a victory, they're celebrating, and at one point the owner just grabs like a bunch of wings and throws them in the fryer, and my friend is like, no, I haven't counted them, and the owner's like, it's okay, I'm overcharging them anyway.
But sir, it'll throw everything off balance. The hell with the balance. This money's all I need.
God,
I'm the balance.
we had this like tradition on my campus. I went to Indiana University, Bloomington, by the way, go Hoosiers. But we had this event called the Nearly Naked Mile. And it was like the most like American Pie thing where it's, everyone just wears like Speedos or like swimsuits or like, just like very minimal amount of clothing. Yeah. And then they run a mile across campus, rain or shine. Like when I did it, like they only did it my freshman year. And this was apparently like a long running tradition. And then they got rid of it. And it's like, come on. So I got in the last year of that event, and you get super hype for that, and you're like around all these half naked people, and then you go to actually run the mile and you realize, oh, I'm ridiculously out of shape. Like I'm getting passed by like frat bros who are like chugging beer actively as they're running, and meanwhile I'm like I haven't even gotten halfway. I'm like, oh god, like my gut jiggling at this point.
Help me.
Alfred, help me.
Got the Batmobile. Drive it to the end.
Fun time.
Stay with me.
I mean, now that I think about it, like,
he's dying right now.
I'm sure people listening to headphones will love that.
I know.
I know.
No, I mean, I hate to say, like, things didn't really like start getting interesting for me until actually I met Jason and Chris back in college. Like, I know the first 2 years, like, my college experience was I took like 4 to 5 classes a quarter because I was just like getting through all of them quickly. And all I did was like study and work. And I do remember, I may have told this story on the podcast, but
I think you did in the past.
Wait, what was that?
I think you did like one of the past episodes, but go on.
No, but it was like, what was exciting was when I realized like, oh, these guys seem like a cool group of people. When our esteemed fellow Oddlude member, Chris, introduced me to the group as one of the most awkward situations I've been in a social gathering where, again, I'm there.
Sorry.
And he's like, I'm here to picking something up. And everybody just stares at me and I could feel them like, so who's going to take the first step? Are you going to say hi or should we or Chris? And Chris is like looking through his backpack like, oh, give me a second. I need to find this. And I'm like, hi, I'm Ryan. Nice to meet you guys. And I think I introduced myself to you first, Jason. And then I sat down and do you guys remember what you guys were talking about?
No. I remember I was eating something and then we just were just bullshitting.
I think it was something to do with like a certain movie where you're just like, now here's why this is wrong. And then the reason was just completely asinine.
I love you guys recounting these fond memories that you can't remember.
Well, it was not about the conversation. It was about the bond.
Then get to the point.
Oh, I'm sorry. How much time do we have, Kevin? Let's see. We still got time. Wait, your
doesn't
turn.
mean we gotta waste it. Goddamn.
Oh, goddamn.
Damn.
Kevin. I know where you fucking live, and I'll mute this mic right now. I have that power. But no, I honestly, yeah. I'll be honest. I think it was pretty boring for me. Like, I didn't really do much of like college antics because my university didn't really do that. Mind you, we were also next to the police station and a forensics lab, so any sort of buffoonery.
Wait, your university?
Yeah.
You mean the school I went with you to?
Yeah.
Buffoonery and stupid shit.
Whoa, you guys did. I'm telling my story because mine's boring as fuck. So Jason, please tell us what buffoonery happened at our university.
There was that time that I won't name his name, but he broke the printer in the library, and he's like, "Oh shit!" But he's an IT guy, so he starts fixing it, and the freaking one of the librarian workers come by and she goes, do you work here?" He goes, "Yeah, I do IT." She goes, "Oh, okay." She goes, "What's wrong?" "Oh, paper jam. Don't worry, I'm on it." And he starts fixing it, and the girl's like, "Okay." She just leaves.
True security. Oh, dude,
what was it?
You guys have no idea how much porn is watched at a computer lab at our university.
Oh, jeez.
I was in charge. I worked at the computer labs for a while, and my job was to make sure that everything was running smoothly and that no porn was being watched.
Wait, which computer lab were you working at?
All of them.
All of them?
At the same time. He installed himself into the computer.
I was just that far ahead of everybody.
Yeah, he got his Mega Man like EX, and then he like plugged that in. Yeah, he jacked in.
I pew-pewed everybody, and I made sure that nobody was.
He saved the whole library from the
cybernet was under my care.
The evil viruses. Yes.
I remember there was a student who literally played. So it was my cinematography course. We're watching a movie, and you know, like. Gonna go over like like the mise en scène and all that bullshit. And there was a guy who was watching something on Pornhub, and he must have took off his headphones by accident because that shit started playing loud on the phone. You just started hearing moaning, and Toby was with me on this. We both just turned to our right, like, what the fuck's going on? Like, we thought that was the movie at first, but we realized no. The speakers from the movie are in the front. This is coming from the side of us, and we look over, and then the dude who looked up, he just looked around and goes, "Uh-oh!" Like he just got caught shit in the bed.
No, like I would have a partner every single time we work in the computer lab, and she would always look at me saying, "Ryan, could you take care of that?" I'm like, "Take care of what?" And he's just like, "There's somebody watching porn," and I'm like, "Oh my god." Okay, so I would walk up, and again, broad daylight. Everything's lit up. You have a person right next to you. Like, the computers were very bunched up together. I would come up, and it was always this usual offender, this old gentleman, who wasn't, like, wanking it or anything. He was just, like, watching it, I guess, to, like, I don't know, get the blood going or some shit.
He was watching it for the acting.
For the acting, of course. Mm-hmm. The mattress actresses. And I would stand up behind him. And I would stand up, like, if I were to be that close to you, you would feel someone standing behind me. But this guy was so into his movie that I'd be like, sir, huh? Sir, you can't be watching this. Do you mind if I put my headphones on then? No, that would be his honest to God response. And I shit you not. Every time I thought of me for a second, I'm like, you know what? That would solve the problem. But I said, no, sir, you just can't watch it. How did he not get
kicked out of the lab?
Because it wouldn't let him in the library anymore.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
And I was like, no, sir, look. The idea is that you're watching porn in broad daylight and you're making people uncomfortable. And I applaud this guy for being just very like down to earth. He's like, well, is it making you uncomfortable? And it had me thinking, I'm like, look, man, I've seen some worse shit in my life. This is nothing. But I said, sir, it's not about me. It's about the people around you. And he looked around and he's like, oh, I didn't know I was making them uncomfortable. So can I still put it in my earphones? Sir, get out. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's just one of those things where you need, whenever you're playing like a sexual video or you're doing like a sex act or any sort of like fetish play or whatever, like you need the consent of like everyone around. That's why like public stuff, like if you ever go to a mall and you see someone like on a leash and like on all fours as like, they're fucking, other like their dom or whatever. Yeah, taking them out for a walk or whatever. It's just like, hey, dude, I don't consent to that. All right. That's weird.
Or like when you see them back in the old days when they come out of the VHS store, out of the do not kid adults only sort of thing
area,
and then you look at them and you just shake your head. They're like, don't judge me.
See, but that's different because they have the curtain. You go in there and you get your thing and then you get out.
But we know what's going beyond that curtain. Let's not act like we don't know.
We know what's beyond the curtain, but the thing is that there's a curtain, and that's what matters. It's a curtain of consent. You go past that curtain, you're consenting to see some weird stuff.
I don't consent to him getting out of that room with that stuff because I'm like,
Well, that's why you put it under your 1990s like trench coat.
So that explains the trench coat boom.
Yeah.
And you always saw the same people who went to that video store go behind that same curtain. Say, hey, Bill. Hey, Tom.
I mean,
you probably have to do work in there. You still have to like alphabetize that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to find what you're in the mood for this week.
Yeah, I mean, like, someone put like dirty dangles in the backyard slut section, but you need to put that next to like, down home country, like.
And sometimes you just spruce it up by king, size, you know, time of day it was recorded.
Like, hey, where's Elbow Deep in Asian Teens? I'm not finding it this week. I'm like, oh god.
It's like, Kyle, look, if you already checked it out 2 times in 1 week, you need to have somebody else have a turn at it.
You worn out the tape.
Oh my god, I forgot about that shit.
God.
It's like I had to put a new order for it. It's like, oh, all right, well, let me know when you get it. He just leaves.
We truly live in a erotic picture renaissance, though, because we can, you know, you can Google boobs and you get like 2 billion images. Back then, like, you know, I remember that scene in Forrest Gump when he's in Vietnam and then one of the soldiers comes up, it's like, hey man, check this out, and it's just like a single picture of like a woman with her tits out, and it was like everyone's like jacking off to that like one picture for weeks, and it's like, my god, they were starving while I have a feast at my fingertips.
Those truly were trying times.
And before then, it was pictures of ankle.
Whoa, Kevin, this is a family-friendly podcast.
Wait,
What
is
is
it?
like? All right, like we're on the topic now of stuff that like has changed throughout the years. Like, what do you guys think has like really
Is that
evolved?
the topic we're on? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's looking like it. Like,
Sure.
it's just like you mentioned people who didn't really have access to pornography, and so one little thing that wasn't to us nowadays,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, that's like on social media, like food.
Those old like recipe books where it's like mayo and broccoli, like gelatin, like back from like the 1950s where they just made everything in the gelatin no matter what it was.
You know what? It's funny you bring that up. My friend Natalie, she is into cooking and baking, and she likes collecting old cookbooks. Well, a lot of these old cookbooks are very fucking racist. A lot of the ones that she's finding. And so...
give me the racist cookbook discourse.
I used to just give you the racist cookbook.
No,
Like,
what I'm
Kevin,
going to
you know
say
you
is
live
not
with, right?
racist. It's just funny. It's just because when we were reading the book, like the images they used are like super racist, but there's this funny slogan on there that isn't racist. It's just funny. It just goes like this: without sausage and bacon, living life is nothing but forsaken.
Wow. Like they really
like,
stretched for that rhyme, huh?
And I was like, that right there. That's a quote of life I want to live by.
I want that etched on like my mausoleum. Like you come up in the dead of night and then etched into the stone is without a life without sausage and bacon is what, a life that's forsaken.
But it can only reveal like by like it's like secret writing. Like this is the answer that life.
You need to smear like bacon grease up top and then like sinks into the letters.
It's like this is the next clue to the treasure map.
The stakes have never been higher.
And you just throw a steak at it.
Forget the invisible ink. I got bacon grease. Except once it reveals, it stays there forever. Oh shit! It's stained in. I can't hide
Can you
it.
imagine that was like so. Like invisible ink, right? Like you see it in like movies and like mysteries and like you have to light under the parchment. To,
Yeah,
like,
I've seen
reveal
National
it.
Treasure.
You know? But like imagine it's like bacon grease, like this is the answer to all mystery.
God.
Without sausage and bacon.
Is Epic Mealtime still doing stuff? I remember like they were.
Oh, that's right.
Because they were at the height of the like putting bacon on everything craze, and I haven't heard anything about them since.
The biggest mystery was how were they still alive? Like just shit that they were putting in their body.
Maybe that's why they aren't making videos anymore. They like went out of the cultural spotlight. Maybe the bacon caught up to them.
Like let's see. Epic Mealtime. But like.
Jason, Chris, do you have any bacon-related opinions?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're still making
I'm
stuff.
okay
They're
with
still
all
making stuff.
forms
Holy
of-
crap!
856 videos as of today.
Dang. Still going strong, I guess. Okay, never mind.
Oh god damn.
My apologies, to Epic Mealtime.
You know, they found a way to make it work. Well done.
Yeah, applause.
Little golf clap there. Like, okay, since we're the topic of food and you mentioned like mayonnaise and broccoli,
I'm hungry.
well, what are some foods that you think people would not agree with? Like, why would you eat it that way?
What?
Like, for example, Old Bay, Kevin.
Yeah, okay. Oh, so that was what this huge like lead up was for.
No, that
like,
was just
calling
the
me out.
first topic I came up with. And I thought,
Oh,
well,
boy.
that's somebody that I think
All right.
has called you out. Like, I got a problem with Old Bay, but people have called you out on it.
Yeah.
Why do you love Old Bay so much?
Because it's tasty. Next question. Like, you put Old Bay on your popcorn, on your crabs, on your meat. I sometimes put it on my eggs. Gives it that little spice. I like Old Bay, and that's because I spent 10 years of my life in Maryland. And there's just, you know, when you live in a place for so long, you just kind of grab some of the culture by like pure osmosis. Like, I don't care how much you hate corn. If you spend 10 years living in Indiana, you're gonna get a taste for it. That's just what happens.
To me, it'd be ketchup. Like, I could put ketchup on almost anything that isn't like a soup. And oddly enough, and for anybody who's like a meat lover out there, I could put ketchup on a steak.
I mean, that's just wrong, but yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I still fucking love the shit out of it. What I cannot stand, and you know, I think all of you guys know this, I can't stand sour cream, and I utterly despise. Utterly.
I'm back.
What?
You were gone?
I had to pee.
Yeah, what the heck?
I held it for like a good hour and I couldn't do it anymore. It was starting to hurt me.
So you left quietly and then came back
abruptly.
By using Busta Rhymes stunt double to break down the door.
Said, Jason, what are your bacon related? I got none because I have to go pee. I'll be right back. I literally said that.
I don't think we heard that.
I didn't hear that.
That just shows you how good of a friends all three of you are, you fucks.
If only we had a recording. Bravo, play it back.
I can't because that means we'll stop the whole thing.
For the edit.
Sour cream and Bravo hates, so it sounds like a typical Bravo.
We can do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're talking about like, anyways, yeah, avocado guacamole. I fucking hate it.
Of course you do.
I hate the taste. I hate the texture.
You hate joy?
I hate joy.
Did you say avocado and guacamole?
I love taste.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's a Mexican Californian and he hates this.
I have been cast out from my own Latin roots because I don't like chili. I don't like champurrado. I don't like avocado and guacamole.
See, this is called heresy, Kevin.
Yes, I am a heretic according to my own people.
I just call him an asshole.
And guess what? I'm fine with that. Because you don't need to add chili to everything to give it a kick. Like, if you cook the food well, that's it. It tastes amazing.
How about you be a man and just grow a dick already?
No, here's the thing. No, fuck that. Why does putting chili on something? Because I've gotten that shit for so many years. Like, be a man. How does me putting chili and destroying the taste of something a manly thing?
It just is, okay?
No. There it is. That's the bullshit.
You accepted the fucking Bermuda Triangle.
I have not accepted the Bermuda Triangle for shit. I'm still fucking concerned about that.
I think it all comes full circle here. Bravo's sense of taste has been lost within the Bermuda Triangle. We need to go there, boys. Everybody, get onto the plane. Da, 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 da. Ba, ba, ba.
Kevin's more Latin than you.
Yes.
Damn.
I got no problem with that. But
Kevin's
why do you need to add chili?
Man.
Why do you need to add chili to everything?
Because chili tastes
Why can't
good.
you just accept what we like?
Bravo, do us a favor. We'll let you keep the argument, but don't have kids.
Yeah.
How
Wow.
dare you?
Kind of a jump.
Chris?
No, I agree with Chris. 200% with Chris.
Jason.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Fuck you both.
We now have a consensus.
Look, I'm just saying, you don't need to add fucking chili to everything because
You don't need to, but you should.
Why?
You don't need
Why
to, but
not?
you should.
Why? No, there you go. Please tell me why.
Because it tastes good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We're having a cyclical argument here. We're saying the same things, and you're asking the same questions.
Yeah.
For anybody in the
good.
I don't know. Why do
What more do
why
you
do we
need?
bring there?
Oh my god. Maybe I just have too much of a sensitive palate because all I'll taste is just the overpowering fucking taste of the chili.
Well, that sounds like a Bravo problem.
Yeah, it sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, that's what I just confirmed right now. Yes, maybe it's my
Okay, cool. I'm glad we're all in agreement. Meeting adjourned.
Nice, excellent. What's our
Gavel,
next
gavel,
topic
Kevin.
conversation, gentlemen, please?
Next conversation, picking the new leader who likes chili.
Motion to approve.
I see. I'd like to put a nay in that notion.
I abstain anyway.
Dual
So
abstain.
Old Bay's great, chili's great. That weird powder I got from that Korean deli to put on watermelon is fantastic. I can't remember what it's called. It's some sort of like spicy lime kind of powder that's like you don't think it would go great on sweet watermelon, and then it turns out it's actually fantastic.
Kevin, that sounds like tahine.
That might be it.
Yeah.
So, Jason and Chris, is there something like a condiment you guys love to put on everything?
I
mean, well, I'll let Jason go first. Go.
Honestly, I'm not a huge fan. This is the opposite of what your question was, but I'm not a huge fan of ketchup on everything. I never got that. I don't think ketchup is great with everything. Yeah. I like people who do ketchup with hash browns, and I understand it because it's just like French fries. I don't know. I never dug that. I never dug ketchup in a burger. I never dug. Yeah, I don't think I'm a big. I mean, I noticed as a kid I used to like it a lot, but as I got older, I'm not digging it as much. Weirdly though, I can eat mustard on anything.
There was this like Korean fusion restaurant back in Bloomington. And they had like a spicy squid dish, and you know, I got as a joke one time, like, you know, kind of like a haha, I'm gonna do this, haha, I'm so quirky because fuck. And you know, I tried it. It was really good. Like imagine eating a tire, but it's just been sauced and spiced to all hell. That tastes like really good, and that's what was eating this spicy squid was like. Like same like texture of a tire, but like okay.
Cuisine.
Can I say that again, Jason?
Kevin, are you a fan of Japanese cuisine?
Japanese what?
Cuisine.
Oh yeah.
You should go get ramen when this.
I'd love ramen. Ramen, sushi, apparently spicy squid.
Spicy, dude. I haven't had. Have you had grilled squid?
I don't believe so.
Oh, dude, it's so good, especially if they char it right. Oh, it's so fucking good.
It gives it like a nice texture.
God. You know, that reminds me, there was this one like YouTube video I saw. It was like widely derided because it was basically this like one woman eating like animals alive, and you know, it'd be like, you know, like bugs or like lizards or something like that. And then at one point she tries to like eat like a small octopus alive, and it of course like throws its suckers on her face and starts like attacking her. And she's she's like so like surprised and so like, oh, how could this ever happen? And like every comment was just like, you had that coming.
It's like, of course it's gonna attack you. You're trying to eat it.
It's the circle of life.
Exactly. Like if you're gonna eat your prey alive, at least like hunt it down. At least like go out into the wild. Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Kill it. Take it out.
Those people who get surprised when zoo animals or circus animals act out. It's like, I don't get it. Why did the bear attack? It's like, I don't know. Maybe because it's a fucking bear.
Because Bosco was sick of balancing that ball on his nose. I don't know.
Yeah. Bosco wanted to be wild again and was hungry. Fucking, oh my god, dude. There are just some stupid people who get it. If you're fucking around with wild animals and they attack you, you deserve it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, even like that was that one chick in Tiger King who lost her arm.
I remember that person had like a situation going on. They got like misgendered a lot during the actual documentary. Hang on. But yeah, well, no, I know what you're talking about. Like that.
I don't feel sorry if any of them get attacked because they're fucking with tigers and lions. It's like, hey, you know what? That thing should not even be in Florida. That thing should be where it's originally from, hunting wild animals like it should be. And if you're fucking with it and it attacks you, good on that thing, because it's just doing what it's naturally meant to do.
The idea is if you put a wild animal in a cage, a zoo, a circus place, it's still a wild animal.
Yeah,
like
all you did was make its surroundings smaller.
Oh, yeah, but at the same time, like the most terrifying zoo video I've ever seen was like the dude who has to go out and like brush a like hippo's teeth. Because like the hippo like comes out of the water and just opens up its gaping maw, and like I didn't know the context of the video, so I thought that guy was about to get eaten, because that's what hippos do. They will take you out.
They're terrifying.
Yeah, but no, it's just like the dude has to come in with like a big old toothbrush, like the size of a hairbrush, and just start like you know, scrubbing these sharp bowling pins of teeth. And like if you can do that, just like stare death in the face with like minty fresh toothpaste staining your wrist, like you've got my respect, good sir.
The only thing between you and death is Cress.
Jason, add that to the wall of sayings for on, Luke.
Yeah, we gotta frame that one.
I shall be protected by the mint. Oh no, who got cinnamon? No, he's going wild.
It's okay. It's scope flavor. I'll survive.
Oh my god.
Quick, get the floss.
I should have said the only thing between me and the Almighty is Chris.
That's a new like Midwest like advertising campaign for Crest.
Have you guys seen like kangaroos are jacked?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, dude. I love it when kangaroos attack people.
I know, and it's like it turns into a sparring match when you watch it.
Yeah.
It's the best of Darwinism.
I think the best one was when the kangaroo attacks a dude's dog, and
Yep.
the guy punches the kangaroo.
Oh yeah, he comes up, he punches him, and he gets into a fighting stance, and the kangaroo
and the
just
kangaroo
like,
looks
"Did you
shocked.
punch me?"
Yeah.
And like gets up and like flexes his chest. He's like, "Come on, then, come on."
Dude, it's funny. It looked like two bros about to go break it down.
Yeah.
Australia is, you know, a continent where nature is actively trying to kill the human presence on it.
I think final stand of nature.
I can't remember if it was Australia or New Zealand that had the Great Emu War. Have you guys heard about that?
It was Australia.
It was Australia? Yeah. Have you heard about the Great Emu War, Jason?
I don't think I've heard of the Great Emu War.
Basically, there were so many goddamn emus in Australia that the government actually put together, like, I don't know, like 72 National Guardsmen, got them in jeeps, loaded them with like AKs and all that, and they were just like, okay, go out into these fields and kill a bunch of emus. Australia lost. They're like they had because this was like a government operation, they had to classify it as the Great Emu War. So you can check it out on Wikipedia. It's an official conflict of the country of Australia. And it's basically like, yeah, there were so many emus that were so damn aggressive that they just overpowered all these soldiers with guns. They were just like, nope, this is emu territory now.
Jeez.
All that is like, this will be the basis for Planet of the Apes.
On that topic, who do
First,
you
we
like,
lost the Emu War.
What animal right now do you think that we see as like not dangerous at all, but in large quantity of numbers, can we not win with our military might?
Ants.
Hornets.
Ants.
Murder hornets.
Ants are small insects, but through like sheer hive mind, they're able to create like large tunnels that have like wind coming through them in such a way that it basically like air conditioning throughout the hive. They operate in these like mega colonies that span like states. Like, it's the only reason that we are not currently at war with ants is because we don't get in each other's way too often. They have the underground, we have the above ground, and even then, you guys have seen ant hills. Those are the scouts. If we were ever in a war with ants, like that's it. Game over.
What do you guys think?
I say we send the roaches in and take care of them.
The Great Alliance.
We have to look at an ant's greatest enemy, another ant colony. Like, listen, you don't like us, we don't like you, but we sure as hell don't like them. Why don't you work with us?
That's it. We just have to keep blasting ant propaganda in all the different hives, keep them fighting each other.
Hey, look, man, I heard that the other ant queen was talking shit about your ant queen.
Okay.
He said,
You know, they have a lot of oil over at that other anthill. Just saying.
they took our women to war.
God.
Well, to be perfectly honest, though, we already the thing that we can't handle, that we really don't have a solution for, is locusts.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say COVID.
No, locusts.
I mean, you're right.
I mean, ants is one thing, but locusts, they wipe out crops, entire crops. They could decimate an economy just by showing up.
Yeah, and they come from underground too. We sent the gears after them, and we just haven't been able to stop them.
Yeah,
that was a good Gears of War reference. I couldn't pass up.
Oh my god.
Very nice.
Fuck.
Very nice.
Yeah.
To me, it'd be cats. Here's why. Imagine like a massive number of cats. Just like, I mean, again, you guys can't see the photo that Jason posted right now, but that is a whole lot of fucking emus. Cats are not only agile, they're quiet, they're silent. And have you ever had a cat sink its nails into you?
Yeah, it hurts like shit.
Now imagine that, and I've seen like photos like on Reddit where like a cat swiped at its owner's face and like hooked the eyeball. Now imagine a bunch of cats millions of them, running at you, and just going wow, and no amount of gun.
You know what I would do? You want to know how I fight that off?
How?
1,000,000 dogs. Get them,
Boom! There we go. We made the great alliance in our ancient days. Now they guard our homesteads.
That's how we became friends back in the ancient times.
The dogs guard our homesteads from the encroaching cat menace.
It's literally Cats versus Dogs, the movie, but cooler and not as stupid. And no Jet Goldblum.
So you mean Cats versus Dogs too?
No Jet Goldblum.
Oh my god.
Alrighty.
But
And then we would ride those dogs into battle.
like giant mastiffs and shit.
Sick of Menudo.
Alright, Havoc, and release the Dogs of War.
But wouldn't that turn into like if we have like a lot of like if we release the cobras, but now we have a lot of cobras. Now release the mongoose, but now we have a bunch of mongoose. Like, what would be the answer to a bunch of like the same million number of dogs? How would we fight them if they turned?
A bunch of cats.
Fight. We open our ship.
We
go
eradicated the cats.
Wait, sorry, Jason, what'd you say?
Like this solution of 1,000,000 something to fight off against another 1,000,000 would only lead to another 1,000,000 of something fighting off that first solution of 1,000,000. So here's what you do. You go to Elon Musk and say, hey, how are those space travels going for you? Get in there, go to Mars, start all over.
Like a bailout option.
And now we have the answer to every problem now. Mars.
Mars.
Start all over.
Oh my
The fresh slate.
All right.
Matt Damon was able to do it. We can do it even better.
God. Alrighty. I think it's time we introduce our new segment for this podcast. As you all know, this podcast is show title pending. We currently do not have a show title. So fans listening, feel free to message us on social media or comment on the podcast itself. Your ideas for our next show title. Does anyone have a suggestion in the Odd Loot crew?
No.
Jesus Christ.
Bravo doesn't like guacamole.
Bravo doesn't like guacamole, the podcast.
A heretic's lament. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Show Title Pending Podcast. And as Kevin said, if you guys have any ideas or like thoughts about what we should title our next podcast, comment down, send us a message on social media, and be sure to like us on social media, follow us, and subscribe, and of course, ring that bell for notifications. You know, what every other YouTuber says. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a wonderful day. Be safe out there. And remember, you don't have to put chili in everything, for God's sakes. Bye.